He was flying, then he was sailing, now he's back to flying. We're talking to Bobby White in the hangar.
I used to be a well-respected member of the aviation community, and then I started flying to Cirrus, and that changed.
Oh, that was great until the engine quit.
And all of a sudden I see these explosions and these trees exploding.
I'm walking away a better pilot because of this discussion.
Welcome to In the Hangar. I'm Christy Wong.
And I'm Dan Milliken. We are here with Flying Doodles, Bobby White. Bobby, thank you so much for being here today.
No, thanks for having me. Yeah.
Okay, so let's just jump right into it. Tell us where you came from, how you got started in all this.
I was a corporate pilot. My whole career, I did almost 19, 20 years as a corporate pilot. And a little over 3 years ago now, I had a brain hemorrhage, a type of stroke. And so obviously you lose your medical when that happens. And you know, it's one of those things when it happens, you're kind of like, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world, what's gonna happen? And which I went through that too. But you know, I always kind of wanted to go sailing and everything, and just decided to sell everything I own, literally, except everything except for a few clothes. I bought a sailboat, went sailing, and started a YouTube channel, and then kind of, you know, the flying bug never really leaves you, and when I got the opportunity to start a flying-based YouTube channel, I did that, and so now that's kind of what I do for a living.
So how are you able to cross over from I'm sailing around the world and now I'm kind of flying all over the world?
You know, I don't have any free time anymore. I used to have a lot more free time, but I'm either sailing and filming, or I come home and then I'm filming for Flying Doodles, and it's just nonstop. Because when I'm gone sailing for 2 or 3 months, well, I have to film enough Flying Doodles content to still post during that time while I'm gone, because obviously I can't film during that, and so it's just staying busy.
Let's go back to the dark days.
Uh-huh.
When you were a 135.
I did both. I did 135 and Part 91.
Okay, so you're a professional pilot, and you know what happened? You get a headache, and all of a sudden you're on the floor. I mean,
yeah, no. I woke up one morning. It was like middle of the week. It was about 8 a.m. and I had about the worst headache I've ever had. And I normally don't take Advil and stuff like that, but it was a pretty bad headache, so I went and took some Advil, which is, you know, blood thinner. I didn't realize I had a brain bleed going on. So I take that, I go back to sleep, or try to go back to sleep, and I lay down for another 30 minutes, and the headache's getting worse. I pick up my phone to try to, text my girlfriend at the time, and I'm like, oh, I can't read. And so it was that point I was like, oh, hey, this is more than just a headache. Stupidly drove myself to one of those, like,
wow.
yeah, like urgent care centers. And I did end up calling my girlfriend, and so I talked to her on the phone, and she could tell, she's a doctor, so she knew something was wrong. So she had a friend meet me there. They talked to me for about, as soon as they actually talked to me, you know how those places are, it takes 15, 20 minutes to talk to anybody. And then as soon as he talks to me, he's like, okay, go to the hospital. Meanwhile, my friend showed up, so he took me to the hospital. Within 5 minutes, I'm in a CT scan there, and then 20 minutes later, I'm on a helicopter to another hospital. And I was in the neuro ICU for 11 days.
Wow.
And they did 3 different procedures to like repair the leaking blood vessel. It took me probably close to 2 months to read again.
Wow.
Yeah. It was just, the way I describe it is, you know, when you read something, your brain skips over all the little letters like a, the, of, stuff like that. Well, I couldn't do that anymore. I had to think, you know, I just had to reteach myself basically. And I'm 100% now, no long-term effects. I'm pretty lucky.
Wow.
But tell that to the FAA, you know.
Right.
Oh, they're real forgiving about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, right, yeah, sure. Well, it's a 2-year, anything as far as I've been able to glean, brain-related or heart-related is generally 2 years, and then you can reapply for your license, but you're talking...
Yeah, when we talked before, you had, when we flew, it sounded like you didn't even want to pursue that. Are you changing your mind?
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of gotten back into it
You're
now,
right.
and been like,
Yeah,
okay.
I was going to say aviation will do that.
Yeah.
It will just suck you right back in.
Drag you back in.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to fly professionally anymore, but I'd like to be able to fly my own airplane again, because I had a twin Comanche when this whole thing started, and obviously I had to sell that.
Right.
So I'd like
Basic
to.
med now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's I'm not sure if I qualify for that
Right,
or not. I'd have to talk to some legal experts on that. So anyway, it's going to cost time and money, neither one of which I have a lot of right now. So another year or so, I'll try to do it. And kind of one thing, once the flying channel gets enough clout, maybe go to the FAA and say, hey, would you like to make a video on how you can help people?
That's actually brilliant.
Yeah, well.
Let's get some positive press for the FAA.
Right.
Oh yeah, I was going to get Brian Turner to call.
Yeah.
And that's actually
insane.
that's what I did, and they didn't return my.
Yeah, that might
maybe
be
I
a
should have
problem.
just said it's me, not
Yeah.
Brian.
He's had a few problems with FAA.
Yeah, well, man, some call it problems, some call it opportunities.
Right.
So, yeah, so, okay, so now let's talk flying doodles.
Okay.
Well, actually, we haven't ever even hit the doodles. You
Oh.
said you sold everything, but that's not accurate.
That's true. I kept the dogs. Yeah, I have two labradoodles named Maverick and Goose.
Appropriate.
Yeah. So being a pilot and all, and so I did. I sold pretty much everything except the dogs, and we went sailing. We did a year in the Caribbean, and then the last year I sailed from Vancouver, Canada, all the way to Thailand. And
Wow.
yeah, it's a long way to go, but it would just been too difficult on the dogs, so I couldn't bring them with me. And then Sailing Doodles has been so successful that, I mean, name recognition, so went
Right.
to Flying Doodles. And I mean, they've made an appearance or two in a few videos, and they'll be making an appearance in more. We're going to be doing a lot of filming with them in the coming months, I hope.
You're about to go on this journey across America, right?
Yeah, I'll probably start that in March.
And you're taking the dogs with you?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And-
So what are some of the places that you're lining up for this spring?
Well, so far I've just kind of put it out there to my viewers who's interested in this, and basically I'm kind of, as people contact me, I'm where are they, where's their airplanes, and I'm just going to kind of make a map of the most efficient route and try to meet up as many people as I can. I haven't sort of decided I'm going east or west, but I'll start in Dallas and I'll go by travel trailer, RV, whatever. Either head west or east, and it just depends on where most people have contacted me from.
That's incredible. I mean, look, when we went up, I had such a great time. It was so much fun. I mean, I didn't even know that there was a camera there. We just went up flying, getting to know you, and you were getting to know me, and hey, let's go on this nice scenic flight, flying like I always do anyway.
Right.
So, but it was really great because I was able to showcase, my airplane and, why I love aviation so much, and hopefully inspire other people into aviation. And it sounds like you're getting re-inspired
Yeah.
to kind of come back. So I'd like to think I had a little part
You did
in that.
well. You were my first actually film session doing that. So.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, and you
Oh, I
were
didn't
like
know
my
that.
second or third or fourth maybe.
See?
So yeah.
I'm telling you, I can get anybody in the airplane.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. Well, okay, so out of the flights that you've had happen, what has been the most interesting, other than the Wong Warrior or my Centurion?
Right, absolutely.
Right.
There's been a few. I got a chance to go up in a Marchetti S211 from it's like Victory Aviation.
Right.
Those guys, pretty cool. So it's a military jet
Yeah.
trainer doing spins, or not spins, but barrel rolls and aileron rolls and stalls, accelerated stalls. Is really fun. Got to with actually the president of Operation Airdrop, Doug Jackson. He has a pretty cool custom-built STOL airplane. Short takeoff and landing. We played around on the sandbars and that.
I know you recently did the T-28.
Yes, that was
That
cool.
is
I've done
really
the
cool.
T-28. That's
That was really cool.
Incredible airplane.
Yeah.
And we did.
lot of power.
I haven't finished editing that one yet, but that'll be a pretty fun one.
What about the Ford Trimotor?
Yeah, that was cool. I went up there to film. There was a guy that owns a Cessna 340 up in Oklahoma City, and so I drove up there, and the Ford Trimotor just happened to be like kind of selling rides, and I was like, okay, let's go. And they let me film it. Well, they wouldn't let me put a camera in the but I understand that because if they'd let everybody put a camera up there, well then things would get crazy. So
Yeah.
pretty cool.
All right, so then what's next is you're going to be going RVing across the country to all the different pilots.
Mm-hmm.
So what can people do if they want to reach out to you to be a participant?
Well, I should probably get a little more organized with that and get a website. I actually have a website for my sailing channel. It's sailingdoodles.com. You can find my contact information on there, and just send me an email or contact me and kind of schedule something.
All right, then I'm going to lay the question on that I ask everybody. What's one thing, you got a really large fan base, what's one thing they would be surprised to hear or know about you?
Ooh, wow. Oh,
We like
man.
to put you on the spot.
Yeah, that's
you
put me
know.
on the spot. Well, it's not so much on the flying end of things because it's not that kind of show. It's more like an interview, and the show's not about me. It's about the people I'm interviewing. The sailing stuff, we're kind of selling the dream. Everybody thinks, oh man, you guys are just always having such a great time. It's always so easy. I'm like,
Escapist.
yeah. It's the times when things are rough, it's kind of the last thing to do is grab a camera and then film it, and it's so it's not always as nice as it looks on video, but it is pretty nice. So it's I'd say that's what it is. It's not always as nice as it seems.
When's the next time you're going out sailing?
I'm actually leaving at the end of this month. I'll be gone for until the end of March.
So you're going to do sailing, a block of sailing, and then you're going to do the RV across the country.
Yeah, I'm flying to Singapore at the end of the month. There's a sailboat regatta there. I'm actually a crew member on that, and I'll be filming the race. And then I go to Thailand for about a month and a half or a month, a little over, and I got a couple different boats I'll be sailing around there. And then come back here and do the RV thing. So I'm trying to get as many aviation or flying doodles filming as much as I can. I've been staying pretty busy with that. So.
How do you manage doing the, I work in video. The amount of editing you must be doing to do the 2 channels must keep you up late at night. What's the post-production load for you?
The flying videos are a lot easier to edit just because it's all sequential and it'll all happen within about an hour. And so once you just line up all the clips and everything, then it's a lot easier to do. I actually probably sit at my computer actually editing 4 or 5 hours for one of those, but my computer's probably working 8 to 10 hours because you set something up to render,
yeah,
and then all the other stuff you got to do. But the sailing doodles ones take quite significantly longer because those are generally either filmed over an entire day or an entire week, and so just going through all the different cameras and all the different footage and you have to build a little storyline with it. You can't just, you have to make it entertaining. And that can be, it takes a little while to do all that. So I would suggest for anybody that's, looking to do any kind of video, YouTube or anything like that, you obviously need to make a good video. You have to make something entertaining. Content. Yes, the content has to be fast-paced, keep moving. People get too much artsy, which is cool, but if it takes away from the story, it's a distraction. But the number one thing, honestly, that's just the way it is grabbing headlines. You got to have a good thumbnail and a good title, and then your other stuff with that. You can make the best video ever made, but if it has a terrible thumbnail and a dumb name, it's never going to get viewed.
Interesting.
So,
well, Bobby, thank you so much for taking time out of your incredibly fun schedule.
It is fun. It's busy but fun.
To talk with us.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me, guys.
All right, so that's Bobby White of Flying Doodles and Sailing Doodles. We have links to his websites and his YouTube channel in the description below, so please check them out if you haven't already. Thanks again for watching, and as always, like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next time in the hangar.